Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your host. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I have Pana Community Hospital on the phone, including Perioperative Services Director Stephanie Anderson. Great to have you here, Stephanie.
Thanks, Avery. Great to be with you.
Tell me a little bit about the surgery department at Pana Community Hospital.
Well, our beautiful surgery suite consists of 8 pre-op bays and post-op bays, which are where the patients are admitted and discharged. We have 2 large ORs integrated with the latest technology. We have a state-of-the-art sterile processing department, which is located within the suite itself for all sterilization needs. It's funny, we frequently hear from our patients how nice our surgical suite is, and from the surgeons how much they enjoy doing surgery here, especially with the large surgery rooms. This surgery suite was built back in 2019, implementing the state-of-the-art equipment and technology, so basically seems brand new still. We have 9 surgeons who offer a variety of services.
You mentioned the new ORs, multiple. Yes?
Yes.
Multiple. Okay, you mentioned how they were in 2019, they were constructed. Could you characterize the journey that it took to get those new ORs back in 2019? I know it's been 4 years, but if you could, I'd love to hear the story.
Okay, well, just as you mentioned before, I don't know if you mentioned before, I have Bob with me too, so Bob's going to pipe in a little bit on that.
Oh, yeah, I have anesthesia director Bob Ludwig. Perhaps you could answer my question, Bob. Tell me a little bit about the journey that it took to get a couple of new ORs at Pana Community Hospital.
Yeah, Avery, when we first started here, we were in a very small OR setting and, very outdated. I think the administration realized the need for growth and saw the potential. And they really did a phenomenal job of forward thinking and really looking at what our needs were. And, the service lines that we're able to offer now are just, in part because of that growth and that forward thinking.
You, Stephanie, and Bob just mentioned it. There are a variety of lines of surgical services. What type of surgical services do you offer at Pana Community Hospital?
Sure. We offer a variety of services. We have a general surgeon, Dr. Anawana, who's here every Monday. He specializes in the colorectal procedures, performs surgeries like colonoscopies and upper endoscopies. He does screenings and diagnostics, and other general procedures like gallbladder removals, hernia repairs, removal of lesions, those types of things. We also have 2 podiatrists, Dr. Ott and Dr. Brown, who are here 2 to 3 times a month. They provide foot and ankle surgery and services. We have 1 ophthalmologist, Dr. Allward, who performs cataract surgery once a month. We have a urologist, Dr. Morgan, who's here twice a month and offers a large variety of urology services like prostate and bladder biopsies and surgeries, vasectomies, bladder tumor removal, kidney stone treatment, including laser therapy, which has been a very exciting addition to our service line. No hospital around our region actually offers that, so that's been a milestone for the hospital to provide the laser therapy for kidney stone treatment. And it seems like with the short supply of urologists in our region, we've had a large pool of patients from far distances outside of our community, so that's been great to be able to serve our community and outside our community. Since last May, we've performed about 90 urology procedures, and it seems like the addition of this service has been huge. It's been significant to our community because there's a high demand for urology needs, but very few urologists in the area. So that's been very exciting for our urology service line. It's grown tenfold since we started about a year ago. And we also have 4 orthopedic surgeons, Dr. Sams, Dr. Sullivan, Dr. Elbitar, and Dr. Tapscott, who offer a variety of orthopedic services that range anywhere from sports medicine for repairs after injuries, carpal tunnel surgeries, up to total joint replacements. It seems over the past year, we've been very successful with those total joint replacements. We've performed approximately 35, including hip, knee, and shoulder replacements. So that's been very exciting. Another service that we are happy to be able to provide to our community so they don't have to travel out of town. It's very convenient that they're able to stay local and recover local. We're really looking forward to working closely with our brand new MRI department for imaging that might be required for some of these orthopedic procedures. So that's on the up and up coming here at Pana Hospital too, is the brand new MRI department. But as you can see, Avery, we offer a variety of specialty services, and we'll soon be adding an additional general surgeon and gastroenterologist to our team. So we just keep continuing to grow.
And you've given a lot of reasons, I think. So when I ask you this, I guess I'm looking kind of just like a little bit more of a concise answer. This question here, when you have all of these types of surgical services and all of these surgeons that come to your hospital, and mind you, Pana Community Hospital, it's in the name. So how does all of those options help the community? In your words, Stephanie.
Oh, it's a huge benefit to our community. Basically, these are services that people in Pana and the outlying community would have to travel to, say, Decatur, Springfield, Effingham, within an hour, 60-mile radius, any direction that they go. But the benefit to having them here at Pana Community Hospital is that we're able to keep our patients and our community close, that we can provide the services just the same as any large hospital or hospital out of town, with the same results. And they don't have to travel. They don't have to worry about their follow-up appointments, their pre-op appointments, and all the extra time on the road, that they're able to have these services close to home and recover close to home as well.
How many surgeries do you generally do at Pana?
Typically, we average about 50 to 60 surgeries a month. In 2022, we had the highest number of surgical procedures ever performed at Pana Hospital, which totaled at just under 800. Seems like when I started back here in the surgery department about 11 years ago, we were averaging about 25 cases a month. But since we've moved over here, like I said, in 2019 into our new suite, our surgical volumes have grown significantly, as have the types of surgical services that we've been able to provide our community I spoke about earlier. You know, we started out, we had a general surgeon and the ophthalmologist and one podiatrist. And now we've grown with adding the orthopedic service line, the urology service line, and multiple services within those lines that we're able to provide. It's been very exciting, pretty big deal to partake in the steady growth of our department and the hospital. And as I mentioned earlier, we're just anticipating additional growth as we bring on an additional general surgeon and gastroenterologist to provide those services as well.
Anything else that you'd like to share about the surgery department at Pana Community Hospital, Stephanie?
It's very exciting and an honor to be a part of a department and facility that's making huge growth and history in our community. As I mentioned earlier, we're adding a lot of services that most patients have had to travel out of town for in the past, but now we're able to provide them locally. And I feel one of the most valuable benefits of Pana Hospital Surgery Department is that, and one that makes us stand out from the other surgery departments, is our ability to provide the one-on-one intimate care. It's individualized by our staff who work very closely with each patient. It's a smaller setting, so we're enabled to do that, which is really a big benefit for our patients as well. I think it helps with individualized care and getting on a more personal level with the patient. But we're staffed with certified surgical staff, clinicians, and surgeons who continue to provide optimal standard of care and yield very successful outcomes. As I mentioned before, with our total joint replacements, those have every single patient has had a successful outcome, as have all of our other surgeries. We really take pride in our quality surveillance that supports zero postoperative infections. That's another huge stick point that really sets us apart from other surgery departments. Definitely not an accomplishment that very many can claim, so we're very proud of that. We actually received a visit from D&V, who is our accrediting body, last week, and they were very pleased with our department, and we passed with the audit with flying colors, so we're very, very proud of that as well. Just overall at Pana Hospital, we make our patients our priority, and we're dedicated to providing the best care and experience possible for them.
Perioperative Services Director, not manager, Director Stephanie Anderson, along with Anesthesia Director Bob Ludwig. We'll hear more from Bob here in a moment. Thank you so much, by the way, Stephanie.
Thank you, Avery.
Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first.
WTIM.
This is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. With interest rates rising, many people are seeing their loan rates increasing out of control. At TCCU, we have kept our loan rates low. We have also raised our share certificate rates. These are just some of the ways that you can benefit from a membership at TCCU. We encourage you to visit any of our convenient locations in Taylorville, Hillsborough, Litchfield, or Pana. Whether you are looking to get a great loan or share certificate rate, our friendly staff are here for you. Check out our great rates at www.tccu.org. Come join us. You'll wonder why you waited. Member NCUA.
This is Becky Edwards, owner of B&G Administrative Services in Taylorville, your link to a better business day. I am proud to be the exclusive sponsor of the Miller Media Group B&G Administrative Services Business of the Month.
Crystal Baker opened specialized hearing solutions in Shelbyville in June 2020 and in Taylorville in March 2021. Crystal's goal is to provide patients a comfortable environment to take steps to better their hearing and quality of life. She specializes in performing hearing tests and educating patients about their hearing loss, providing options available to them for better hearing. Most recently, Crystal gave back to the community by donating a set of advanced hearing aids to a deserving person and wants to do that annually. She's a member of the Chamber of Commerce Board, Chamber Ambassadors, and our great community.
B&G Administrative Services congratulates this month's Business of the Month. Find out more on our services by going to bngadmin.com.
For all that life brings, the question on one knee, a tiny hand gripping yours, the cake overflowing with candles. The compassionate team at HSHS Good Shepherd Hospital will be right by your side with expert care that allows you to focus on what matters most. HSHS Good Shepherd Hospital, here with you for every memorable moment.
WTIM listeners from Witt to Shelbyville and Awanaco to Ramsey can now hear your information station even clearer at a new place on the FM dial. WTIM now has an additional dial position at 107.9, transmitting at some 280 feet from a tower on the south edge of Pana. Hear the latest local news and agriculture information, swap shop, and more in southern Christian, northern Fayette, and eastern Montgomery counties from WTIM. Even better now at 107.9 FM. Set a button on your radio for WTIM in the Pana area now at 107.9 FM.
Hi, this is Hayden Fox, your local farmers insurance agent here in Taylorville. To learn more about our products and services, click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM, your ag information station, provides over 8 hours a day of agriculture programming on the air, stream live, and in podcast. Find out all the on-air and online platforms you can hear WTIM by going to TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station. WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper, your host. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I have Pana Community Hospital on the phone, including Perioperative Services Director Stephanie Anderson, and also speaking to Bob Ludwig, who's the Anesthesia Director. Great to have you here, Bob.
Thanks, Avery. It's very nice to be here.
What are some of the things you're doing from an anesthesia perspective to improve patient outcomes when you going to surgery. I know Stephanie talked a lot about what PCH is doing to provide a lot of surgery options, but in terms of from your perspective, what are you doing to improve those outcomes?
Yeah, we do a great deal of quality metrics tracking throughout surgery, anesthesia, and throughout the organization. We really try to make sure that we're providing the best care, looking at the things that we can do to provide the best outcomes for our patients. But when we look at some of the things that we're doing from an anesthesia perspective, it goes into a much deeper subject area. From a historical perspective, anesthesia, really traditionally relied heavily upon opioids, for example, for pain management. The anesthesia literature really kind of did a deep dive into the opioid epidemic here in the past few years, and we all know that it's crippling the nation and our counties, our state, everywhere around us. And what they found was that anesthesia practices were actually inadvertently contributing to the problem. In fact, some of the statistics that they found was over 96,000 people die every year from opioid overdoses, and opioids are a factor in 7 out of 10 overdose deaths. Nationally, the death rate is 21.6 deaths out of 100,000 people, and it affects young people, old people alike. The numbers are similar in Illinois, and in fact, slightly higher death rate from overdoses in Illinois than the national rate. But like I said, those numbers tend to really affect all of us around the area too, in the counties around us. So, we're looking at those opioids and things like that.
That's an interesting perspective from an anesthesia director. How do these numbers translate to your practice?
Well, so, anesthesia really, in that deep dive that they did, they started looking at what are some things that we can do to really get away from opioid medications. And they looked at, multimodal pain management processes, across the board. And those include the use of non-opioid medications, neuraxial, central nerve blocking techniques, regional anesthesia, peripheral nerve blocking techniques. And, we practiced a lot of pretty much all the same standards that you're going to see practiced in a larger facility such as at Springfield or Decatur. We're doing those same things here. In fact, when we started our total joint program here a couple of years ago in the urology program, we performed a lot of those procedures that Stephanie alluded to, those total knees, the total hips and shoulder procedures, things like that, all those orthopedic procedures. And we found that we're very successful in performing a lot of those regional and neuraxial techniques here, just like you would get at Springfield or Decatur or any other, bigger anesthesia department. And what we found was that, we're able to provide those services, and we've been able to cut our opioid consumption by nearly 90% here at Pana Community Hospital by doing those. So, we strive to provide a more patient-centric approach here in care of our patients here going at Pana Community Hospital. And I think it's possible because, we of our smaller size, our patients understand that their care matters to us. Stephanie alluded to the beautiful state-of-the-art facilities our administration has provided us. And they also provided us with the necessary tools to allow us to do those things. So the equipment that, we need, the ultrasound and things like that we needed to be able to provide those specific techniques, they've been very willing to work with us and give us those things that we need. And I've worked at larger organizations, and I can say without a doubt that our surgery and anesthesia staff are all very qualified and committed to living the values of Pana Community Hospital.
That's all the time we have. That's Anesthesia Director Bob Ludwig at Pana Community Hospital. He's also on the phone with Perioperative Services Director Stephanie Anderson. Thank you both.
Hey, thank you, Avery.
With SRN News, I'm Jeremy House in Washington. The The start of a winter storm with heavy wet snow led to hundreds of school closings, canceled flights, and thousands of power outages in parts of the Northeast. The storm's path included parts of New England, upstate New York, northeastern Pennsylvania, and northern New Jersey.